I wanted to make a slightly more personal video this time because we're living through quite a difficult time at the moment. It's really an unprecedented time. A lot of our colleagues, you might know people who have lost jobs. Some of us are now juggling work and having kids at home and homeschooling them. But I also wanted to point out in this video that every crisis, I think, like this one, creates some opportunities. So I wanted to use this video as well to inject a little bit of positivity into your life and show you what I've been doing to try to cope with this really difficult situation and encourage you to develop professionally as an English teacher during the confinement. To the channel, my name is Marek Kiczkowiak and I run TEFLequityadvocates.com, where I help English teachers tackle native speakerism and teach English for global communication. You can check out the website, the link is right below the video, and you can also check out my online courses that I run on TEFLequityadvocates.com. So just a little bit of a disclaimer before I start this video. I'm obviously very lucky. When I compare myself to some of my colleagues, I definitely can't escape the feeling of how lucky and privileged I've been in this unprecedented and difficult situation that the coronavirus has created for all of us. For example, I still have a very good job and there is no sign that anyone will fire me anytime soon. I also don't have any kids that I have to homeschool at the moment. But I think what I'm going to try and show you and tell you in this video might help you if you're going through some difficult times now. I hope this video injects a little bit of positivity to your life and shows you what you can do to try and live through this crisis and come out of it better prepared for the world that we're going to find after the crisis. So for me personally, one positive thing that this crisis has created is a little bit of extra time. For example, I don't have to commute to work. I used to commute to Brussels and it takes about 1 hour each way. I don't have to do that anymore. I also can't go out and meet my friends. I can't watch football because there's no football on TV. I can't go to restaurants or bars. I can't go to the cinema, and I used to do that quite regularly. So obviously I'm just confined at home and I'm sitting here and I could be watching Netflix every single evening, or I could be watching books, and I've done that, a lot of that as well. But this clearly creates an opportunity to try and learn something new, to develop your skills, to upskill your abilities as an English teacher, right? To do something that perhaps you've wanted to do for a very long time, but haven't had a chance or haven't had the time to do. So some of you might know that for quite a while now, I've been running online courses on TEFL Equity Academy, and these courses have been doing okay. But there have been several big issues with them. For example, one big issue has been that they have been hosted on a different platform. So I have a website, TEFLequityadvocates.com, that I run on WordPress.org. And then when I set up those online courses, I didn't know how to set them up on WordPress and how to combine them with my already existing website, TEFL Equity Advocates. So I just opted for the easiest solution at the time, which was to host them on Teachable. And Teachable has many advantages. It hosts your courses, it hosts your videos, it gives you a domain name, and it's relatively cheap. There's a free plan to start with as well. But this obviously created a big problem right at the very start. I had two websites, so I had to advertise for two different things. I had to attract people to two different things, and it's obviously confusing for people. They visit TEFLequityadvocates.com and then they're kind of redirected to my online courses, which are somewhere there. Some people visit the online courses and they haven't seen TEFLequityadvocates.com. It's a big mess, really, if you think about it. And I've known that all along since I started those courses on Teachable. The problem obviously is, as for many of us, is lack of time. I've been teaching full time, I've been writing materials, I've been creating those courses, recording videos, doing all sorts of different things, and I just didn't have time to move them because this requires quite a lot of learning about WordPress and hosting things on your own on WordPress and so on. And the COVID crisis really created this opportunity where all of a sudden I was sitting at home and I had this time that otherwise I would have used for watching football, meeting my friends, going to the cinema and doing all those nice things. And now I had this time that I could spend, upskilling and learning something new. So that's what I did. I started reading up on hosting online courses on WordPress. I started watching video tutorials on YouTube. I basically started learning everything that I needed to know to host those online courses on TEFLequityadvocates.com. And to cut a long story short, after many hours of watching YouTube videos, reading about it, playing around with different platforms, looking for different providers, I finally moved all my courses to TEFLequityadvocates.com, and this is where they live now. I also had the time to finally change my approach to delivering those online courses. So I knew that for a very long time, I already knew that it hasn't been quite working out. So just to give you a bit of background, I had two big courses, one on teaching English as a lingua franca and the second one on tackling native speakerism and finding a job as a non-native speaker teacher. And obviously because they were big, there was a lot of knowledge and practice in it. They were a little bit expensive for teachers, I would say. And I knew this was creating a bit of a problem as well. So for a long time, I've wanted to move towards a more of an academy model where you have smaller courses that you can do faster and that are obviously cheaper as well for the user. And that's what I did. And this move has already created really positive effects for me. I'm seeing many more people joining these courses, and obviously what I'm really interested in is helping as many English teachers as possible. So the more people join, the happier it makes me as a teacher, and it's much easier for me. It takes me less time as well to manage everything because it's on one platform. It's much easier to direct people to my online courses or to my blog because everything lives on the same platform. Obviously, it's also much easier to market them. And something which isn't unimportant, it's much cheaper than hosting them on Teachable, and I have much more functionality and I own the whole thing. Teachable can go bankrupt, you never know. I think it's unlikely, but you never know. They might go bankrupt, and what's going to happen to your online courses then? So you might be thinking, why are you telling me all this, Marek, now? Well, I think the main reason is because I want to show you that this crisis also creates opportunities. It might offer you a chance to get new skills, to develop professionally, to do or learn something that you've wanted to do for a very long time, but haven't had the time to do so. And the great thing about diving into learning a new skill is that it also keeps you sane. It's a really difficult situation that we're all going through now. And I think having something to do, learning something that you feel passionate about, will keep you sane and will keep you more positive. With me, it's definitely helped me a lot go through this crisis as a relatively sane person. And the second reason why I think is really important is that it will help you prepare yourself for the world that we're going to encounter whenever we go out of this crisis. And it's definitely not going to be the same. For example, teaching online is booming. So you could upskill yourself and learn how to market your services online, how to give webinars, how to teach online, how to market your services, build a website, start a following, start YouTube videos, just to give you an example, right? So just think about it. What can you do to develop professionally as an English teacher? What skills can you learn to prepare yourself for what's going to come after this crisis? Because every crisis does create opportunities if you're willing to exploit them. So I hope this video will help you inject some positivity into this difficult situation that the COVID has created for us, and maybe give you some ideas what you can do to try and develop professionally during this difficult time. If you enjoyed this video, then give me a follow so you don't miss any future videos. And if you want to dive deeper into tackling native speakerism and teaching English for global communication, then definitely check out my new TEFL Equity Academy. And I posted the link right below this video, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your comments as well below it. So thanks a lot for listening.